For the fifth part of this tutorial, we're going to be looking at creating that if statement in here to check whether or not the user has actually checked those checkboxes. So in the insert.php, you should have index, insert, and style. We're going to add some code in here. So we're going to have a little bracket here, if, and then we're going to add in a condition inside the bracket. So this condition is going to be if not is set, and then we're going to have $_ post, and I think it's M100. So if this is not set, then we're going to make it be set. So we're going to say M100 equals 0, else $M100 equals 1, which would be what the value of that is there anyway. So in the index bit, M100 value equals 1, and in here we've got if it's not set, so if this variable is not passed, which means if it's not checked, it's not going to get passed as a post variable. The post M100 will not exist. And this is just checking. If it doesn't exist, well, let's make it exist, and we're going to make a new variable called M100. Else, if it does exist, let's just make the variable anyway and assign it the value of 1. And so I'm going to do the same with this one. If not is set $_ post M200, then we'll set that variable equals 0, else $M100 equals 1. There are different ways to lay out an if statement. Usually, if you've done programming before, you may have seen something like this. You do not have to do this, by the way. And then, oops. And then you might see the else statement here, and then brackets, kind of like that. And these will be indented in. And that's one way of doing it. Of course, this takes up 6 lines. And just undoing this. Doing it this way only takes up 1 line. So there's only one instruction after the if statement, so we could do it this way. It's not a problem. And then I'm going to insert it into here. So we go 100M, 200M, and then down here I'll add those variables in. $M100, $M200, and I'll go in and check this in here. Internal practice, let's check. Billy Bob, and he can be in WWY, under 15, 100 meter, 200 meter. I haven't put the discus in yet. I'll put that in a moment. Enroll, click enroll in events. Undefined variable M200 in insert on line 19. So there's an error that I've got. What have I done wrong there? Oh, that's it there. And 200. Let's go back and just try that again. Enroll in events. Duplicate entry. Okay, so it must have worked. Billy Bobby. Enroll in events. 1 entry added. Now I check my database. Localhost MySQL. And we'll go to DB internal practice. There's only 1 table here, and okay, so that's put that in 1101. There was the error before. It still managed to insert the other stuff, so that's not great, but it does work. Billy Bobby, WWY, under 15, 1, 1, 1, and 0 for the discus because I hadn't put that bit in there. So let's add that in. If is set little d discus $discus equals 0, else $discus equals 1. And then I could put that down here as well. Notice that the order of these doesn't need to be the same as the order in the database, It's just the names here need to match up with the names in the database, and the order here needs to match up with the order here. So if I was to put discus at the front there, well, it's going to put, if I was to do that, it's going to put discus into the name field, it's going to put name into the house field, it's going to put house into the age group into 3000, M3000 into 100, M100 into 200, M200 into discus. So that's not what I want. So I should do it the other way, which is like this. Save it. And now discus should work. So we'll go back and test discus. We've got discus. I'll change the name. Joe Bob. And he can just be enrolled in discus. Enroll in events. One entry added. Let's check the database. Browse. Joe Bob 0001, which is the discus one, 0. So that all works really well. We could enroll in different events, and it puts a 1 in the event that we're rolled in, a 0 in the events that we're not enrolled in. And as you saw, there were 2 ways to do that. I could create a select box, which has 2 values in it. And I could put a default value in here, no, or something like that, so that when the user actually looks at this page, it says no, and you can click enroll, and that way they've got some kind of cue as to what that empty box means. Or I could leave it blank. And the other way to do it is check boxes. So check boxes and then checking if that box has been checked when it comes through, and creating a variable. Also note that I created variables for every single post thing. And that's going to come in important later, because what you can actually do, and you shouldn't, is do stuff like this. Whoops. PHP. You can type this in here, or I could even type something like end quote, and then go MySQLi underscore query drop star, and end that, and enroll it. And if I typed it right, which I probably haven't, what it would do is this bit here, the query, when it gets to this quotation mark for this bit, so at the end of name here, it would actually put these little quotes in, and then allow me to write my own PHP code, which will get executed on the server. And in this case, drop will remove a table, and I can drop star, which is remove all tables from the database. So we're going to do something to disallow this MySQL injections, just make it a little bit safer.